Yeah, Vijay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here let's go with the first part. Integrations are more time. So here we have a three formulas. Okay, three formulas is important. Root of x square minus a square, root of x square plus a square, and root of a square minus x square. Whatever the reciprocal, I think you have already done in the previous part, right? So now we have the root of x square minus a square. How what will be the integration of this? So we'll use the same integration by parts only, right? And then we'll try to find it, because we have here what, this root of x square minus a square, we can treat it as a one function and into 1 as a constant 1, right? 1 into integration of this as the constant function, correct? So we can do that way, and then first function is root of x square minus a square, second function will be constant 1, clear? And then we'll try to do that. Can we just try this part? Let's try. Yeah, let's try the first one, Vijay. And yeah, then it'll be the same method. No need to worry. Method remains the same. So your first function is, so you can just put as a, into 1, right? Dx into 1 dx. So 1 is the second function, and this is the first function. Okay, so this is the first function, and this becomes the second function. Fine. Now apply the integration by parts method. So what you will get, you'll get a similar method. So basically you will get is, let's say this part, entire thing, this will be coming right for you. So when you write in the first function, this will be the common value, right? This will be the now, and then you write the integration. Here the integration sign will come, and this will be 1 dx, right? Because this is the second function. Minus what will be that? Integration of d by dx of root of x square minus a square, correct? D by dx of, yes, d by dx of square root of d by square root of x square, correct? And just solve this part. This is the formula, and then multiply with integration of 1 dx is nothing but x only, correct? That's it, solve it. Now this will become the x of square root of 1 minus x square, x square minus a square. This will become, when you do the integration of this part, this first term will come, isn't it? This term will come, correct? Now, when you do differentiation of root of x square minus a square, you apply the chain rule. So whole of x square minus a square is power is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 whole power x square minus a square, 1 by 2 minus 1. So that will become a minus 1 by 2. So it will become the square root of denominator square root of x square minus a square. Then do the integration, do the differentiation of x square. X square differentiation is 2x. Got it? Chain rule. Not clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, just try it out now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So once you get it, you'll get in the form of this part. Entire thing will come in this form. Okay. Then 2x is there, then we have to use the another method, then I will tell you what is to be done.
Okay, sir.
one formula, if we just know how to derive it, we can derive all the three formulas, all the remaining two formulas, so we don't have to worry as such then. So this 2x and x will multiply it, become 2x square, and this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. So x and x square. So basically you will get the x square by square root of x square minus a square. Correct? So you have to again use the numerator as plus minus a square, so that you get in the form of denominator part. That's what been done. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Once you get it, then you'll again get the I value. Okay, integration of x square minus a square, like this you'll get when you integrate this part. Try it out. Again we need to do the integration by parts here. Not part, sorry, x square minus a square when you separate it out, because the numerator is x square minus a square and denominator is the square root of x square minus a, so that will get cancelled it out, so that you will get as root of x square minus a square.
Okay, sir. Got.
Yeah, just try it out now, no problem. Let's see. You got it, Vijay? Where till where you reached now?
Got it, sir.
Excellent. So what did you get? This is you get the I is equal to square root of x square minus a square is equal to x by 2 square root of x square minus a square by 2 log of x plus square root of x square minus a square, right?
Yeah.
You get the same formula, same value?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Now let's try to analyze that part. So you got the similar way. So excellent. Now if we just see here, this is very common, okay? So remember that part. This part, first part will be always common, okay? And this minus and plus sign, that will keep on varying depending on what kind of things we are going to use, isn't it? Now,
Yes, sir.
so this part is also common by a square by 2 log of x plus square root of x square minus a square, okay? Because it was for x square minus a square. Fine. Now this formula, entire formula, you have to remember it. So you have to just write this formula in some piece of paper and just paste it in the board where you are studying. Now look at this part. Now second formula, we don't have to derive it, but method is same. Okay, just remember this part. Now x square minus a square was done. Now we are doing for x square plus a square, isn't it? It exactly similar to the same formula. Only thing is the minus sign is changed to plus sign. That's it. This remains the same. Just like whatever is there, you put it the same way. Only the plus sign is changed, and then same is here. Whatever the the integrand which is here, x square plus a square, everything is remain the same. Half x into square root of x square plus a square, plus sign will come a square by 2 x plus square root of x square plus a square. Everything remains the same. Only the minus sign changed to plus sign. Integrand remains the same. Clear, no?
Yes, sir.
Now, only difference is in the case of a square minus x square, because this is the sign things will come in the picture, right? Because a square minus x square in the, remember the old formula also, when it was the reciprocal, that was also the sign formula was there, sine inverse x by a, right? So here the sign will come. So this just need to remember that a square minus x square, just opposite of this one. So that is half of x, same thing, half of x remain the same, plus a square by 2 also remain the same, and the sine inverse x by a will come change. That's it. We can actually derive it also. You can just derive as part of homework if you want, but not required as well, because the method is same. Whatever the method we did, we just have to do the same method only, Vijay. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, perfect. Now let's go to the, see this formula, 3 formulas you have to remember that. Once you remember 3 formulas, you are done. Okay. So just write down the second formula also, Vijay. Just write down the second and third formula. These 2 formulas you also write it down. Then we'll go with the example number 23.
Okay, sir.
Yeah?
Okay, sir. Got
Done? You ready
it.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go to example number 23.
Hmm.
Let's go to example number 23. So it says the root of x square plus 2x plus 5. So we need to bring in the formula. Okay, x square plus a. So we already learned the three formulas right now. So which of the formula will come in that form? We don't know. So for that we need to solve it, isn't it? So we need to get in the form of x square minus a square, or x square plus a square, or a square minus x square. Let's see which will come in the form. So basically x square plus 2x plus 5 is there. So in order to get in the square form, so you need to do completing the square, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you have to use the same method, completing a square. Use the b by 2, square and subtract. So, add and subtract, so that you find complete the square for it.
Okay, sir. Understood.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, just try it out. If you don't get it, then I'll explain to you again.
Hmm.
So it should be fine, I guess. You should be able to do that. You remember the completing a square, right?
Yes, I remember.
Excellent. Sometimes looking at that only, you can just solve it. You don't have to, solve exactly the part. See, if it is x square plus 2x is 2ab is already there, and it is plus 5. 5 I can put it as the 4 plus 1, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, I think 4 plus 1, yeah. 4 plus 1. So you can just go see x square plus 2ab. If it is okay, you just have to solve it. 2ab is basically, see, x is a. You get simple. X is a here, and this is 2ab. And what is missing is we just need to find the b square, isn't it? This x is nothing but a square, right? X square is so basically a is equal to x, right? And
Yes, sir.
2ab is equal to 2x, right? Then you are going
Yeah.
so you can substitute as 2x, b is equal to 2x. Then you get b equal to 1. Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Excellent, superb. Then apply the formula. Then you are done. So what's the answer you're getting, Vijay?
I'm not done yet. Still doing.
You're not still got yet?
I'm still doing it. Sir.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, sir. Done.
Yeah? What's the answer, Vijay?
It's half x plus 1. Root x square plus 2x plus 5 plus 2 log x plus 1 root x square plus 2x plus 5.
Yeah, excellent, correct answer. So remember that you got it now. So the whole the whole experiment or the whole the solving mechanism of these kind of question is just to bring it in the form of y square plus 2 square here or this part, this formula,
Yeah.
x square plus a square, right? Then after that is just copy paste half x square root of x square plus a square, correct? No, nothing else. Okay, so let's try 24th now. Example 24th. Again, completing a square, this you are perfect in that, so try it out. If you are able to get in, yeah, because just take care of the minus and plus signs, so after that it will be fine for you. 3 minus 2x minus x square, isn't it? That is
Yeah.
what you need to take care of that. So let's see which formula it comes down now. First you try it out. If you face any difficulty, then I'll explain to you.
Okay.
Right. Three minus, I can just write it for you. So it becomes the x square plus 2x. Three minus bracket x square plus 2x plus 1. Minus x x plus 1 whole square x plus 1 whole square, let's say minus 1 in bracket. Is it becomes a 4 minus x plus 1 whole square. Yeah. So you should be able to get like this, Vijay. Just check if you are able to get it out.
Okay, sir.
So this came in the formula of a square minus x square white so you get in the formula of a square minus x square and then you are done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got it? Yeah. Answer now. After that, the third formula, Vijay. Just you have to apply the third formula.
Yes, sir.
Huh? So then we'll be done with this part. Exercise 7.7 is pretty easy.
Yeah, then like with time exercise plus. There's a 7.10 and then mechanics is also there, sir.
What, Vijay?
There's a 7.10.
Ah, 7.7, yeah. Because then your indefinite integral will stop, no? Indefinite integral is done. After that, definite integral. Definite integral is very simple, Vijay. It's just some of the properties are there. Couple of properties are there, but method is same only. Just limits will come. We just have to apply the limits now. These limits you have been, dealing with 11th standard only. These limits.
Okay, sir.
So that is becoming easy. After that, this indefinite integral will stop here, because all your methods we have discussed then, isn't it? There is no other separate methods is there, which you need to discuss in this part. Everything is covered then.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
That should be fine. Done, Vijay?
Yes, sir, done.
Excellent. So you got it. Now you applied the formula and you are able to get it.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Excellent. See, a square minus x square. So we already have the formula a square minus x square. Vijay. Look at this part, right?
Yeah.
And now let's go to the exercise 7.7. So let's go one by one, Vijay. So you don't have to do all the problems. See, 4 minus x square, you don't have to do that, because directly you just have to put it in the formula only here, isn't it? A square is 4 x square, so it's just a copy paste, nothing. So this we can do that part. From second onwards we can do, because again this 1 minus 4x square is also basically you need to put to get in the completing the square method, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But how will you do that? Let's try it out. Only initial 2-3 steps are only important for this, till you get in the form of this part, any of the 3 parts, isn't it? So let's try it out. Square root of 1 minus 4x square. Can we try this part? Second question.
Second one.
Yeah, second one. First one not required. First, what is there? Nothing is there first. Copy paste.
Okay, sir, I'll do it.
Yeah, let's do the second part. Second part is only interesting part. So how will you do the second part? Let's see. Let's see your method. Let's check your method. How will you do that? Again, two statement answer only is this, which is second question. So you have to get in the form of like this, a square minus x square form. Just take the 4 common. Automatically you will get it. Take the 4 out of the root, you will get the 2 into 1 by 4 minus x square. So 1 by 4 you can write as 1 by 2 whole square. So it becomes the a square minus x square formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then after that is just copy paste your formula part.
Okay, sir.
Any
but could you
question?
just directly just change it?
How will you change?
4 square into 2x square.
Uh-huh.
And then we can use it as half, right? Take half common.
You can take the half common.
Yeah, if we take 4x square as
Uh-huh.
2x whole square.
Okay.
And then we can take one half out.
You can do that.
So
2x
1 by
is
4.
2x as t. You can take it as 2x as t. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that also you can do.
Okay, sir.
So again, it will come in the form of a square minus t square formula. Yeah, it's correct. You can do that. Absolutely, you can do that. No problem. Your method is also right. So, it's fine. Perfectly fine. No problem. Different ways of doing it, but it's fine. X square plus 4x plus 6 is also in this. We have done it here in this previous one. Complete the square, get it in the form. X square plus 4x plus 1, again completing the square. You can just try, after this you can just try this for fifth one, because you need to take care of the sign part here. Sign part was confusing for you, but I think should not be confusing right now.
Yes, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this one x by 2 root of 1 minus 4x square plus 1 by 4 sin inverse 2x plus 3.
Yeah, correct answer. Excellent. You got it now.
Yes, sir.
See, x square plus 4x minus 5. This also we don't have to do. X1 plus 3x minus x square. This also I don't want to do. Eighth one also is the same method. No need to waste time, isn't it? We can go directly with the ninth question. Ninth question is ninth question. If you just do a practice, 1 plus x square by 9. This is because this is a kind of fraction, but your method should work here also. Try this part. Ninth one you can try.
Okay, sir.
Your method. Your method should work properly here also. So 1 plus whole x by 3 whole square. This is what your method also told us. This is what your method was also telling, no? You were trying to do this method only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, correct answer. Now after that, once you get in the form of a square plus x square formula, then you can just apply it and then done.
Okay.
Got Vijay?
Yes, I want this one. It's x by 6, root of x square plus 9. The 3/2 log x plus x square is my mode root.
Correct.
Plus it.
Yeah, got it. Correct answer. Now this is pretty simple, straightforward. Now let's this you can just do as part of homework, okay? Then at the 10th and 11th I think should not be required right now. We can just directly go to the definite integral, isn't it? Yeah. So what is a definite integral? When we say definite integral, no? Yeah. It means just that we are providing the limits now. Limits means just write down this part. Limits, lower limit is a, upper limit is b, f of x dx. This is called the definite integral. Definite integral means you have to find the integration within the limits. That means when the x value is from a to x value is b, x value changes from the a to b. Got it now? The interval of the x value is, their function interval is between the a to b. That means x value is a and when x value is b. Got it?
Yeah.
So meaning here is definite integral introduced as a limit of a sum or the antiderivative of f in the, okay, then the value is the difference between the value of the f. Okay, so means is here. So definite integral means is actually a summation. You know, when we want to find out total area, you know, that is given by the curve f of x between the point x point as a and another x point as b. So how do you find it? So we just integrate it and we put the limit as, you know, lower limit is a, upper limit is b, and we subtract it, right? So when you subtract it, it becomes f of b minus f of a. That means when you integrate it, f of x, this is the small f of x. When you integrate it, so it will become the capital F. Okay, that means you get an altogether new function, isn't it? So that's why capital F. Then you x value substitute as b minus you x value substitute at a. Then what will be the answer? Understood this part?
Yes, answer.
Okay, perfect. Now 7.7.1 definite integral as a limit of sum. This is what I wanted to explain to you. Okay, draw the figure 7.2. Then I'll explain to you. Draw the figure 7.2. Done, Vijay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's understand this function. So let's understand the when we do the definite integral a limits a to b f of x dx. So f of x dx is the area bounded by the curve y equal to fx. So this function, this q to s, is the f of x. Can you see my screen now? It's visible.
Yes, absolutely.
So this function, this f of x, is the function here, y equal to f of x. Okay, this is q to s. This function is going, and you have the, you have the x value is a here, and you have the x value is b. Okay, so the meaning of a to b f of x dx means you are actually finding the, you are actually finding the area of PQSR. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So area of PQSR is found using the integration, that this is the integration method. Clear? This integration the integration method tells you, is the meaning of this is actually this part. Clear? So it tells you that you need to find the area of PQSR, isn't it? How we can say that? Let's try to understand. Okay. So what we do is, between the, so this is the curve from Q to S is the curve here, right? So we define, and when you draw a line from the Q on the x-axis, it becomes the QP, and then again another line you draw, it becomes x1. So we'll consider the first line, the x is equal to a, that point is x0, so that will be easy for your convenience. x0, x1, x2, x3 till it goes to the xn, that is the b. Is it okay? So that means between b to a we are dividing into infinitesimally n number of parts. Is it okay? So this is the first part, this is the second part, and so on till you get the nth part. Is it okay? Till you get the, this part is nth part. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
This is the nth part. Fine. So what actually you have done is, we have divided this, when we are putting the small strips, basically this strip will be, if they will be close to like a rectangle, isn't it? If I say Q, this is L, and this is M. So I can say QL, QPML is a rectangle, isn't it? So like this, that means what I am doing is I am dividing the B and A into n number of parts, and such that the strip width is very, very small, so that the Q to L will be as good as taken as a rectangle. Q to L the length will be as a straight line only can be considered, right? Because they'll not be, because if the distance is very small, then we can say the QL will be same as PM, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That will be same as this one. So basically, we have divided between the limits a and b into n number of rectangles, very small, with a very small width rectangle, such that, and what we will do, we will try to add all the area of rectangle, so that it will give you the area of entire QPSR, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So that's what we have been doing it here now. If you see here, so what exactly we do, yeah, where is that part? We'll divide in the first part. Okay, h tends to, so here let's try to understand this one. Now we'll try to put in the form of AP. So first term is x0, that is a, second term is x1, third term is x2, and so on, nth term is x power n, correct?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Okay. Now here we need to understand, here is this part. Between B to A we divided into the infinitesimal small width of the rectangle. So that means B minus A we are dividing with n. That means B minus A should be equal to n into h. Listen, not n into h. Let's try to understand what we say here. Okay. Yeah, so something like this. So a first term, okay, let's understand this part. I'll write it here and then you'll understand. Okay, let's
Okay.
write it here so that you'll understand. So this is the, okay, so a is the first term, Vijay. A is the first term, okay, and x power x and b is the last term. Is it okay? Now as per the AP, x naught is the first term, so x naught is a. Is it okay?
Okay.
Second term is, as per the second terms, what is the formula for say a of 2? A of 2 is nothing but is equal to a plus d. Correct? Right? So here let's understand the here second. Okay, since we are talking about we started with x naught, so the x naught is the first term, so x1 will be the second term, isn't it? So x1 will be the
Yes,
second
sir.
term, so there becomes a plus h, isn't it? So a2 is nothing but x1, so x1 will be a plus h, correct?
Yes, sir.
Third term, a plus 2d. H is nothing but the h is basically the small width between the x common difference between x1 minus x1 or x2 minus x1 is the h. Got it? H is the common difference. Got it? Here h is nothing but the
Okay, sir.
common difference. H is equal to, because we express in terms of AP, right? So h is the common difference, fine? Or we can say as d,
Yeah.
fine? So x1 can be given as a plus h, the x2 will be given as a plus 2h, isn't it? x3 and so on, fine? Then nth term will be given as what? Now n minus 1 h, that is n minus, but here since we started with 0, so 0 to n is the last term, x power n will be last, but b is the n plus 1th term, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because one more term got added, no? Because x naught to x power n, not x power n, xn, x naught x. We started with first term as x0, right? So nth term will be the n minus 1, and this b will become the n plus 1th term, right? So when you use it,
Yeah.
then when you use it, so it will become the xn will be equal to b will be equal to a plus n minus 1 n plus 1 minus 1. So 1 cancel, so it becomes the b is equal to a plus nh. Got it? So here, let's, if you didn't get it, I'll explain
Yes,
it.
sir.
You got it, no? Basically it is n plus 1th term, okay? So it is actually the a of n plus 1, because we started with a naught, no? If we start with a1, then it becomes the nth term. If we started with x equal to x naught, x0, so it will be n plus 1 then, isn't it? A plus n plus 1 minus 1 d, right? So here a is a
Okay.
plus n, d is nothing but h, you got it? And n plus 1 term is b, so you'll put b here. B is equal to a plus nh. Got it now? Now h will be what? You make the h as a subject. H will be what? H will be equal to b minus a by n. Right?
Yes, sir.
So basically h is nothing but the when you divide the b and a in the n number of parts, then it is the width is h. Okay? And we need to understand that.
Okay.
And we want to understand what is this value n. If we assume the n tends to infinity, then h has to tend to 0, because if the denominator is infinity, that means you are dividing b n in infinite number of parts, then h will be 0 because it's very h will be very close to 0, you know. That's why h tends
Yeah.
to 0. That means the width of the each strip will be infinitesimally small, very very close to 0. That means the width is extremely small. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir. Clear.
Excellent. Perfect. If it's clear to you, let's go to that part now. So we're just finding that part now. This, I think we have already done this part, so we will get the same formula f of a n, okay, using the first principle, huh? So yeah. Now, so how will you define the region now? So we will do the summation now. Clear? Now we will use the formula. Area of rectangle we need to find. So area of rectangle of P is this first strips, then second strip, and so on till it goes. Okay, so how will you do that? Let's do a summation. Write on this formula, Vijay. Equation number 2.
Okay, sir.
Just write in the equation number 2. S of n is equal to h f of x naught plus f of x till it goes f of x n minus 1. Okay, then I'll explain to you.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, good. Now here, S of n and the capital S of n denote the sum of areas of lower rectangles and upper rectangles raised over the subintervals x power r minus 1, x power r is equal to 1, 2, 3 till n, and the Sn is the area of the region PQRS less than Sn. Okay, this is the same thing, only we have different area of the region. Okay, so here fine. So we want to find the area of this, you know, this strip, and summation we have to do it now. Correct? So how do you do that? We can directly go. We just can apply the limit is. We won't just have to, you know, understand how we can apply that limit. So just write down this part, then I'll explain to you. B2A.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, just write on this equation. This is the main equation we need to understand. That's the only thing we have to do.
Okay, sir.
Huh?
Hmm.
So meaning is very simple here. Integration method meaning a to b f of x dx means you apply the limit h tends to, you know, limit h n tends to h tends to 0. Okay. That means h tends to 0 means you are dividing into, you know, very small width. And then what do? You substitute the x value. That is, first you put the f of a, then f of a plus h, then f of a plus, that means all in terms of the first term, and a plus n minus 1 ht. Got it? This is what we are doing.
Sir.
We are doing the summation of all the functions areas with respect to the very small width h tends to 0. Done? Okay. Now we'll substitute the h value and in terms of, you know, n also. So h is nothing but b by a by n. Is it? So h tends to 0 means n tends to infinity. That we have already seen. So we can just replace the h as b minus a by n and limit n tends to infinity. Either h tends to 0 or n tends to infinity. Both are same. Then you get f of a plus h, then so on till the last term, nth term. Clear? Any questions, any doubts?
No, sir. Clear.
Okay. So this becomes the formula for you for finding the, you know, as a limit of sums. In definite integration as a limit of sums when you want to find it. Okay, this is the method for finding, this is the formula for whenever you want to do integration with the limit of sums. When the question asks you use the limit of sum, then you have to use this formula. Clear?
Yes, sure.
We'll do one question and then you'll understand that part. Okay. I think no problem. I think that till here it's fine for you. Let's you just understand. We'll stop it right now. You take it. You just understand whatever I explained to you. In case you have any difficulty, then we can discuss, and then I can go with the next example problems so that you will understand. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You know, because just revise it, so it will be very easy for you to do that, because questions are easy, nothing difficult. So only thing you need to understand is what is called limit of sums and how we exactly do it, right? So the concept is, if the concept is clear, then everything it gets clear to you, because calculation is easy. Calculation is just e power things, everything, that is the summation of the sequences only. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Fine, Vijay. Chalo. I think let's close it then. We'll continue.